Hello YouTubers, this is cessnaace back again with another video. Now recently I did a video about a trade between myself and a fellow user at both highscore.com and AtariAge, a user by the name of AwesomeOrge. Now I really wanted a controller alternative to the standard controller of the Atari 5200, which, as I've mentioned in the past, is well known for having controllers with poor build quality. Not so with this controller. Now, first of all, I will read you this note that he included in the box that this box came in. And I did contact him via email to make sure that it was okay with him that I read this, and it was. Dear cessnaace and YouTubers, thanks for the opportunity for a fantastic trade. Nothing is more exciting than a trade on the Silicon Seas. One glorious boxed 5200 Trak-Ball controller from majestic boxed Commodore 64. Wow. Incredible. I hope it serves you well, cessnaace. I'll be sure to take special care of your Commodore 64. It will be known as Mark's C64. Thanks for keeping it retro. AwesomeOrge. Okay, this is what he sent me, which he recently refurbished. As I mentioned, these controllers are more reliable than the standard joystick controllers that you got with the console. Now, Waco did make a third-party controller that was much more reliable. And nowadays there are some alternatives, including one that I really want, which is an Atari Jaguar controller, which has been converted for use with the 5200, which I think is really cool. If you think about it, it makes sense because both controllers use a numeric keypad. I will learn to speak English eventually. Only been trying for 62 years. Manual. And everything goes flying. And raining on my head. Okay. I will keep all that because, of course, I keep all of my console boxes and so forth. Now, there are several consoles that he routinely refurbishes and sells online, and we currently have another deal in place. He's working on rebuilding, refurbishing, whatever you want to call it, and modding a retro console, one that I don't have and one that I have never had. But although I've mentioned this to my supporters at Patreon/cessnaace down in the description box, I'll leave that for a surprise for once it eventualizes. Now, this tape is to secure the Trak-Ball. Whoops. something similar that they did with the Atari 7800 console when they came out with it is that you can store the power cable at the bottom of the console, in this case the controller. Now I still need a Trak-Ball controller for the 2600. Atari Age has an entire line of games that most of them are ports of arcade games that originally had Trak-Ball controllers built into them, but when Atari released them, or when third parties released them for the 2600, they were coded for use with the joystick. Well, Atari Age has recoded them to work with a 2600 Trak-Ball controller. This is part of their Trak-Ball controller series. Anyway, I think this is really cool. I don't know how well this is showing up on camera, but it looks fantastic. It looks brand new. There are no scratches on this silver band. I've seen a lot of pictures of 7800s and 2600 Juniors that both had this band where the band is scratched up. The band on my 7800 is pristine, and this is pristine. So really cool. The only faded part of this is the sticker on the back. This is model number CX53. Atari Incorporated, made in USA. That's unusual. I know the 2600, the first year's batch were made in the US, and then they switched to Singapore or Taiwan, somewhere like that. But this is really cool. This has the serial number 004172 EP183, whatever that means. Anyway, thank you, AwesomeOrge, for the splendid job that you have done on this. I started to put this in the box, and our cat, the one that we adopted from the Jacksonville Humane Society a couple months ago, he is now in the box. You know, cats in boxes. Anyway, AwesomeOrge did mention that the Commodore 64 worked great after he replaced one of the chips. He told me that he expected that this chip would be bad ahead of time. I believe he called it the PLA chip. Anyway, he took the PLA chip out of one Commodore 64 and put it in that one, and it worked perfectly. So, and apparently from the way he was talking about it, it's not an expensive chip to get. So that's a relief for me. He did give me a lot of warnings about what not to do before I shipped this off to him, because he said, whatever you do, do not plug in the power supply into the unit and test it before shipping it, because if the power supply is bad, it will fry the C64. So fortunately for me, I didn't do that. I did package the original power supply in with it, but I had never hooked it up to the system itself. So there you go. All right. I guess that's going to do it for this video. Until next time, stay awesome.